Our guest speaker today is Care Allen from the TRiO SSS program. You might have heard about it a little around campus. It's new to Albion, so I'll let Care take it away.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I'm super excited to be here just to share with you all a little bit about TRiO Student Support Services. You'll also hear it be called TRiO or TRiO SSS. So TRiO is actually a long-standing federally funded program, but it is the first year that it is here at Albion. And who we serve is first-generation college students, meaning those students who either one of their primary parent, guardian, or caregiver does not have a four-year degree, students who identify as low income, and that is based on a standard set by the federal government based on household size, and those that may have some type of physical or cognitive disability. So you do not have to qualify for in all three ways, but one of those qualifies you for the program. We are right now in our kind of what I would like to call our recruitment phase. So we have the capacity to serve 140 students in the program. And I don't know if I mentioned, I'm the director of the program. And then we are going to hire a program coordinator. And then we also have 3 success coaches. So a team of 5 folks, and we are located within the Cutler Center, which is actually inside of Stockwell in the library, the opposite side of the mud side of the library on the first floor is where the TRiO office is housed. So we are currently taking applications for students, and our website is just albion.edu/TRiO, TRiO. And I would encourage you all to share with all of your friends, your classmates, even if they don't know if they're eligible. I'll do the hard work. I will figure out if they're eligible. Just have them fill out the application. It takes maybe 3 minutes to complete the application. And what I like to tell students is the worst case is that you're ineligible, but now you still have another set of faculty and staff in your corner. More folks on campus know who you are. You still have more resources, even if you are ineligible. So if a student fills out the application and in no way harms anything they have going on at Albion already, you still get the same access to all of the resources you already had. If students are eligible for the program right now, our turnaround time for applications is about 72 hours. So students are finding out fairly quickly within about 3 days. And then students get in with their success coach within about 7 days and start receiving whatever services it is that they might need assistance with. So that is the bulk, like the quick kind of tidbit about TRiO SSS. And you all will see us tabling outside of Lower Baldwin over the next few weeks. We'll also be in KC. We're hoping to get into the Dow soon. You might see messages from faculty, messages from staff. You'll see posters in the residence halls. All of that is the same. Anytime you see TRiO around campus right now, we are the only TRiO program on campus. So all of that is coming to my office. So feel free to send students my way. If folks have questions, feel free to also send them my way. And that is my little spiel right now. And then I see a question in the chat. I am going to pull that up. Sorry, y'all, my dog, I have a puppy and my mom is telling her to come out, but she's okay. I see a chat. It says, can you share where you came from? Oh, of course. So I can share a little bit about me. So I am actually a TRiO alumni. I was in a TRiO program at Michigan State when I was an undergrad. I recently I worked for a TRiO program at Grand Valley when I got my master's degree. And then most recently, I just came from an institution called Cornerstone University, which is a small Christian college in Grand Rapids. I think I'm most excited about getting back to working with students at Albion. My last role, I worked a lot with principals, high school counselors, which are still cool people, but my heart and my passion is really for working with students and advocating for students. And then in particular, when I was a student of color, just navigating college as a student of color, I really love to hear the stories of students and, all of the things that students face and how we can make Albion a better place because of student stories. So that is really what I'm looking forward to, and also getting enough students served. I am really hoping that the 140 spots I have get filled up because students are eligible. I don't know if you all see Nola, but she is really excited. So that is my little spiel about me. And I'm originally from Detroit, my hometown, Detroit, born and raised.
Thanks, Kara. Are there any questions for Kara or about the program or anything like that?
I will drop the link in the chat for anybody that wants to go directly to the website or share it. And then also, if anybody wants to email me, my email is just callen@albion.edu. I can make sure that you all get some flyers or, whatever kind of materials for your friends or your dorms or, well, sorry, residence halls. So yeah, just let me know.
Yeah, thank you. One other question I've heard around campus is kind of like what would someone in the program do? So I've seen students like look at the information, but maybe not understand quite what it is. Could you touch on that a little bit?
Yep. So in the program, we are an additional layer of service for students. So students would get a success coach in the program. So you would still have your regular academic advisor, but then you would also have a success coach. And the difference in kind of an academic advisor and a success coach is a layer of holistic advising. Oftentimes when you meet with the academic advisor, you're kind of talking about your schedule, your graduation plan, and that's kind of just about it. Holistic advising, you can come in and talk about some of any and everything, and we can help you get resources for some of any and everything. So that is one thing about the program. We also do graduate school tours, which will be a little limited this year because of COVID, but we do a lot of graduate school preparation for students. We do financial literacy workshops, academic workshops. We talk a lot about social belonging. It's a cohort model, so we actually are going to have a TRiO lounge, which is one of the things I'm super excited about. So a space that is dedicated to TRiO students will be offered in the library. I'm hoping that it'll be done before the end of spring semester, but if it is not done before the end of spring semester, we'll definitely have it up by late summer or fall. But that's basically it. Students are required to meet with their success coach 3 times in a semester, and that's spread out however they want. Everything else in the program is optional. We hope that students would like to use the resources and the programming and all of that, but that is the only requirement to being in the program, is meeting with your success coach those 3 times.
Yeah, thanks for explaining that.
Yeah.
I think there was also a question in the chat about fees or any money involved.
Nope, this program is federally funded, so it is a 100% free from the application all the way through graduation. You never pay for anything in the program. And the cool thing is I'm actually trying to figure out how to get vouchers right now for those that are trying to take the GRE or the MCAT or the LSAT. We actually have the capability to cut some of those costs for students in our program. Like once you graduate and you're looking for some, to take a test for graduate school. As a TRiO alum, I applied to 12 graduate schools. That was a little over the top when I was graduating, but I applied to 12 graduate schools, and TRiO, actually my voucher was good for 5 years. So it paid for my GRE test. I took the GRE twice, and it paid for, I think I used it on 8 of my 12 applications. So in each application was $75 a pop. So I don't know if that's, I don't know if that's gonna be the full budget for the next 5 years of this grant, but there is opportunity for those types of things to happen, but there will be no cost to you. If anything, you would get more of a financial benefit from TRiO, based on like grad school things, and all of our trips are free. All of our programs are free, snacks, all of that is free. And then you also get cool swag. Me and TRiO, we're getting book bags and planners, and everybody loves a little free swag, right? So that cool stuff will be happening as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Kara? No.
Zahra, I just want to say that Care brings a lot of great experience to Albion. I mean, when we were doing a search, we were looking for talent, and she definitely rose to the occasion as someone who's going to bring a lot of talent and care and concern to our students, not only just in the TRiO program, but to students altogether. And she's also a part of an organization that we're trying to get as a part of our options for sororities here at Albion as a part of the Divine Nine. So she brings a lot of different insight, not only from advising, but from supporting students in her previous career. So we're very happy to have CARE as a part of the Cutler team in the Division of Student Development as well.
Thank you, Dean Wright.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining us tonight, and we are really excited to have you here at Albion. You are welcome to stay on for as long as you'd like, or hop off if you've got other things, but we will proceed with the rest of our meeting.
Thank you, everybody. I'm going to hop off just because this puppy is begging for attention. Nice to see all of you, and reach out if you need anything.
Carrie, you got to show the puppy before you leave. Our students always love a puppy love before.
Okay, I'll grab her really quick.
That wasn't no pressure for her. I mean, she's just trying to write here as a part of her supervision. So I thought it'd be nice because you all have expressed that you like puppies.
Yeah.
I'm always scared to see a puppy.
As Alex just smiled when I said that.
Everybody, this is Nola. Say hi, Nola.
Hi, Nola.
Look at that big
Like, what?
fur ball of lava.
That is the cutest dog I've seen in so long.
Thank you. We love her. We adopted her in December, so she's been a great joy and a blessing through this transition to Albion. She's been a lot of fun, so I'll have to bring her to campus at some point. So yeah. Thank you all. I'll make sure that she comes around.
We'd love to have her.
You all have a good night.
Have a good night. So the next thing we have today is student organization approvals. So earlier today, I shared the 3 constitutions of the interest groups that we have. They're also linked in the minutes or the agenda if you didn't get a chance to take a look at them. So we'll start off with, so for each one, we'll go through, we'll have the representative talk about like their mission, and then we'll have time for questions, and then we'll just vote on approving them or not. So the first one we have is Lambda Pi Eta, and we have Abby Burris to talk about that.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, my internet's a little spotty, so hang with me. But I'm here for Lambda Pi Eta. It's a communication fraternity affiliated with the National Communication Association. The fraternity has been actually on campus, present on campus for a few years, but we just haven't been recognized by the school yet. However, in recent years, with more and more students becoming interested in communication studies and pursuing those careers, we're now seeking this recognition to expand their experience within the fraternity and have more opportunities for the students who participate in it. Also, as Albion does not have an academic club for communication studies, it will give students within the major more opportunity to bond as well as gain more knowledge and experience in the field.
Thanks, Abby. Any questions for Abby about Lambda Pi Eta?
This is just really out of curiosity. I was wondering how many communications majors are there on campus currently? Because if there's been a academic group this whole time, then this really seems overdue.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure about the number of the whole communication studies, but I do know with just the people eligible for our fraternity, it ranges to 30 to 40 people. And within the past year or so, I've been regrowing the fraternity because there was a dip in participation because we don't really have the funds we need to do activities. So right now in the fraternity, there are about 10 people, and we're looking to recruit about 10 more this semester as well. So hopefully we'll grow it as, we spread the word on campus again and kind of revive our fraternity.
Any other questions for Abby? All right, so seeing no questions, we'll do voting, just like our online voting. If you have any opposition, say so in the chat. If not, we'll take that as an affirmative vote.
Hold on. I motion to vote on I forget how to say it, as an organized member. We have to have a motion on the table still, Zakra.
Oh yeah, you're right. Thanks. Can I get a second for the motion?
Second.
Yep, second.
All right. So we had our discussion already. So now if there's any reservations, say so in the chat. If not, we'll take that as affirmative. All right, seeing none, Abby, congratulations. Lambda Pi Eta is passed through Senate. There is another step or two before it becomes official, but I'll get back in touch with you about that later today.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. And you're welcome to stay for however long you want or hop off if you've got other things to do. So the next organization is Students for Reproductive Justice, and we have Rebecca Wagner to represent that.
Hi. Sorry, my internet's also not the best, so please let me know if I get cut off or anything. But I'm representing Albion College for Students for Reproductive Justice, also known as SRJ. We got started in the past year, so we've been around on campus for about a year, and we have about 12 members, and we mainly are a way to advocate for reproductive justice on and off the campus. And we do this through education events and presentations and possibly, hopefully in the future, service opportunities. And we are affiliated with Planned Parenthood and raise awareness for them as well and the healthcare available through Planned Parenthood. And we just kind of represent them on campus as well.
Thanks, Rebecca. Any questions for Rebecca about Students for Reproductive Justice? All right, so seeing no questions, can I hear a motion to vote on Students for Reproductive Justice as a student organization?
I motion to begin the vote for reproductive justice as an organization on campus.
Second.
Seconded.
Awesome. So again, if you have observations, please say so in the chat. If not, we'll take that as an affirmative vote. All right, seeing nothing, Rebecca, congratulations. It is passed on Senate, and I'll get back to you for next steps with that. Again, you're welcome to stay as long as you like, and we'll be moving on to our next organization, which is Alpha Psi Omega, and we have Karen George representing that.
Hi, everybody. Can you guys hear me okay? My audio is kind of bad.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, great. Awesome. So I'm representing Alpha Psi Omega. We just were approved by our nationals, which is very exciting. We are actually working to replace, it's a theater organization, and we are working to replace the two existing theater organizations, Theta Alpha Phi and Albion College Players, because they pretty much existed together. They worked together, and we thought this would be a more cohesive way of doing it so that people could be initiated earlier on, because with Theta Alpha Phi, you weren't able to be initiated until you were a junior. But this, as long as you have enough participation, you're able to be initiated after your first year, which is exciting. And there's also a lot more chapters in the nation, so we would be able to do more with other chapters from other colleges in non-COVID times. We've done a lot of things last semester with workshops. We've gotten a lot of participation, and we have enough participation to initiate 10 people this semester, hopefully more. There's a couple people on the docket, but haven't quite got there yet.
Perfect. Any questions for Karen about Alpha Psi Omega?
Just a quick question. You mentioned that there were two other theater fraternities or associations on campus, so they would more or less be fast-tracked to be initiated into this new organization, right?
Yes.
If they
So
aren't
everyone
already.
who is already qualified to join Theta is qualified to join ASIO. And
Awesome.
we've phased out Theta already. We've stopped paying our national dues, and they know that we're no longer a chapter.
Cool.
Any other questions? All right, can I hear a motion to vote on Alpha Psi Omega as a student organization?
Motion to vote on Alpha Psi Omega as a student organization.
Second.
Perfect. So any reservations, you can type that in the chat. If not, we'll take that as an affirmative vote. All right, seeing none, congratulations, Karen. Alpha Psi Omega is passed through Senate, and again, I'll reach out to you with next steps.
Thank you so much.
All right, so that wraps up our guest speakers for tonight. As you might have seen in the agenda, we have a bit of a different format from the past. We're not doing officer reports like we said earlier. We're going to just have guest speakers, and then we'll get into announcements and new business and open discussions, so that way everyone can be more involved in Senate meetings rather than just officers. So for the first announcement kind of thing is in-person meetings. So you all might have seen the communication sent out on Friday about being able to gather in the KC and in the Science Center. So we're thinking of meeting in person, but also having a virtual component for anyone that is like quarantined or off campus or whatever else. So we're thinking of doing meeting in the C, which is in the KC, because that's like a central location for everyone. And that also has a TV, so that we can have our Google Meet and agenda up at the same time, so everyone can be there, whether it's virtually or in person. So we will probably get started with that next week. Yeah. And then the next thing is budgeting statuses. Chris, could you say a little bit about where budgeting and everything lies right now?
Yeah, of course. So, hey guys, just a quick update. Like I said, we have started our budgeting process now. Cycles always end on Thursday, so if you want to get your budget in this week's cycle, it has to be in before Thursday. And we actually do have some budgets to go over later today. Was there anything else you wanted to specifically know about, or?
I think that's perfect. Just
cool.
A lot of senators get questions about appropriation stuff, and that's just helpful for everyone to know.
Yeah, of course. And just real quick, also, if anyone ever wants to come drop in at appropriations meetings, we have tons of fun. They're Sundays at 6 o'clock. If anyone wants the link, just let me know.
Chris, how do you get information out to student organizations about the process? What's your form of communication to student organizations?
So I've been working with Jen, and we've been doing like emails directly to presidents and treasurers, but it was also in the Albion today. And that was for our budgeting event to go over the budgeting process. And all of our current clubs and organizations on campus did attend one of those meetings, so they all do have the relevant information.
Perfect, thanks, Chris. And then the last announcement we have is a special elections report. Peach and Sheridan, do you guys have anything to say?
Yep. So I emailed Michelle, and she sent me the email of someone else. So they don't want to send it through the IT office, so I'm going to create a safer Google voting thing. I think we had 3 people apply. Peach and I read through, and they all seem qualified candidates from our thing. So I'm going to reach out to student development, I think, and IT to send that out to all the students in this upcoming week, so they can hopefully join us on Monday. Next Monday.
Thanks, Sheridan. I think there's a question in the chat. Could you clarify why they didn't want to send it through IT?
I emailed them. 1 second, let me find the email. And it just says, where did it go? Maybe.
We can come back to it.
Okay, yeah, 1 sec.
Yeah. And then Skylar, did you have another announcement?
Yes, I just wanted to say that our ASA committee meetings are going to take place a half hour before exec meetings. So I will send you guys an email about that later.
So that's Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Sheridan, would you mind muting yourself as well? And then, so we will move on to new business. So this is going to be like more discussion based than announcements typically are. And then like once we start getting into things, like you can talk about your task force, anything you need to like get an input from Senate on, you can talk about that under new business. So the first thing we have is the Putnam Faculty Mentoring Award. So the Putnam Award is given to a faculty member every year that just really stands out in their mentoring, and Student Senate has the option to submit a nomination for that. So we can just, in the chat really quickly, if there is any professors that you know who like are really good at mentoring, have shown a lot of mentorship around campus, go ahead and put that in the chat and we will consolidate them all and we'll send out a quick poll later after the meeting. Yeah, so keep those names coming in and we will go on to the next point, which is task force assignments. Olivia, do you want to take that?
Yeah. Okay, so hello everyone. Task force assignments. Let me just preface this with I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go over the task forces that we decided on for this semester. And I would just like to say that each senator will be expected to serve on at least one of those task forces this semester. Some of them will be lighter than others, just depending on what it ends up looking like. So during this time right now, Monday's meeting, I'm going to be like asking for all volunteers. So please, like tell me your name. I'm going to be sharing my screen when I go through these. I'll tell you how many people are needed on each task force and whatever piques your interest. Please volunteer for that task force, but just keep in mind that we need at least, we need every senator on at least one task force. So, get the tab. Okay, so here's what it looks like in Basecamp right now. Can I get a confirmation that you guys can see this?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so the task forces right now are listed under the to-dos tab in the Senate Basecamp. So I'm going to start from the bottom here. So, and then one thing I'll say also is that some of these task forces are what we would be doing on a normal semester, just like things that we have to get done, like should be anticipated for the semester. And then there's things that we had project ideas for when we held the Senate workshop and you all told us what kind of goals you had for this semester. So putting those two together, stuff we've got to do and stuff that we want to do, these are the task forces for this upcoming semester. So starting off, our outstanding Brit recognition task force. So here, I'll let you guys go ahead and read that on your own time, but I'll give a short summary. So actually, I might go through this. This is actually self-explanatory. So purpose for this task force is to facilitate a space where students can recognize their peers and professors and staff members that are outstanding in Albion. We were thinking creating like QR codes, putting them in Baldwin, the KC, like very accessible to like people just sitting down and then they take a look and it's like, oh, like, you know, things like that if we're able to, and like how to recognize an outstanding Brit. And then you'd scan that, submit the reason why, and that would help us with nominating student leader of the week if we're like struggling to find one, or if there's overwhelmingly like a lot of submissions for a certain person. So for this task force, what it's going to be like set up as is we would need 2 people to volunteer for the task force, and that would be overseen by the ASA committee. So if you have questions about where to go, where to look for this, how to, you know, just basically any questions that you would have that like you can't answer yourself as a general senator, you would look up to ASA and like they would be able to help you. So Skylar, Austin, like those 2 would be able to, and the committee would be able to help you with that. So can I get 2 people verbally tell me your names if you're interested in working on this task force? I don't know if I should go and show you all of them before we volunteer now that I started thinking about this, because you won't really know. Okay, let me go through them real quick. Okay, so we just talked about outstanding Brit. We have the interim and tenure review just to get like familiar with what these look like. We're gonna have the media task force, which is like social media communications with students and things like that, managing our YouTube and things like that. So there's a mental wellness training event that we talked about doing, and that we're planning on doing, and that's helping students focus on mental wellness, and that will be under ASA. That's a Kim one. The videos, the newsletter. So this is communicating to the student body via newsletter, kind of state of the Senate type of thing, but like sending that out to students so that way they know what's going on, what kind of changes we're making like internally, things that we're like projects we're doing externally, things to look forward to, and things like that would be in the newsletter, a weekly. And so then there's the leadership series. If you guys remember, we had the leadership speaker come to our workshop. It was amazing. And we also have him he's available to speak, I think like 2 other times. There's collaboration with Jen Yasin and things that she set up. So kind of like organizing that event for students to gain leadership experience. So that would be a task force. The last 2 is Senate recognition. So I'm refreshing my memory on this one because okay, so reconnection. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. Senate reconnection. So this is really important. This is something that we all kind of ran into, is like we stepped into new roles. Like you stepped into your role as a general senator or as an exec member or as vice president or president, and kind of left with not a whole lot of like historical information and like what has Senate done in the past and what kind of pet projects have we taken on, what kind of community outreach have we done. So this is a task force that's kind of going to dig up some of that stuff and kind of reorganize it to where we can send that off to the next Senate and like very much set them up for success. So this is a very, very cool thing that we could do. And we've talked about doing it and we need to just do it. So I think there's 2 people overseen by the chief of staff and the president on this one. So back to them. And then the B4B. So we're still working on our B4B to have that as a collective document and toolkit for us as an organization. So everybody, all the student organizations are doing this, you know, sports teams and like other student orgs and things like that. Like, so this is our task force for that. And I think we're going to have one person. Obviously, the entire Senate is going to be involved in this, but to head that up, it's going to be one person and then overseen by me and Zahra. So that you guys should be familiar with the B4B at this point. If you're not, please let me know. Okay. I've been talking for a while. I hope everyone is getting excited about joining a task force and starting to dive right into these projects. So I'm going to start with the outstanding recognition. I need 2 people for this. I could say but we need 2 people for this. And then that'll be overseen by the ASA chair and vice chair. If you need any help, we're always here. Like, we're a big team to help, but these task forces are an opportunity for you as a general senator to step up and lead. So is there anybody that is interested in facilitating this project? It should be pretty self-explanatory, and if you need help, we're always here for you. And if you volunteer, do it by name, because I can't see anybody. Or if you can think of a task force right now, as I scroll through.
I'll do the media task force.
Is that Matt?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. I was thinking potentially you with the YouTube. I know you've already set that up a little bit.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
Awesome. Okay, so I have Matt. Okay, anyone else? So this one needs one more person, so we'll leave that. Guys, we're gonna have to get through this, so you're gonna have to be on one of them. So get her going.
Can I do the tenure review?
Yes. So you'll be paired with ASA. This is really self-explanatory, and Austin and Skylar should help a lot. So I'll add. Is that Sheridan?
It was. Samantha said that she will do the media one with Matt.
Okay, great. ASA, and then okay, so that's. I'm gonna see if I can recognize your guys' voices at this point. Sheridan, and then we have Sam for media. So media is now closed. We will be good on that. Thank you, Matt and Sam. Samantha, sorry. I always want to call her Sam, and I know she likes Samantha. Okay. All right, I'm still scrolling. So we have B4B still. The Senate Reconnection Task Force.
It looks like Tassie wants to do tenure review again.
Tenure review?
Yeah.
We're good on tenure review. We have one person to assist on that. And if you guys think that you need another one, let me know. We've talked about this at exec a little bit, like how much we would need. But like between you 3 that worked on it last time and then now Sheridan, does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Wait, so I helped on it last time. Does that mean I'm still on it?
No. So this will be like, I'm sorry, let me get my thoughts together. No. To answer your question, no. So now that we have the task force, it will be Sheridan leading that up and helping with the interim and tenure review, since we only need one person for that. Am I getting that right, Zahra?
Yeah, that's right. Just because it's like a new set of professors and all that. But like everyone can help. It's just Sheridan will just be leading that kind of work.
If no one else is interested, I could take a look at the Senate reconnection thing. I could be a part of that task force.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jim. That's actually really helpful, especially as you are one of the older senators. Not to like make you feel like an old oldie, but like it helps. It helps because you have some like historical, like I don't know, reference there. Okay, so I'm putting Jim. What did I say? Okay, so there's still one spot left on there if anybody's interested in that. I would like to get this moving, so if you know what you want, let me know. All right, so I'm
Can I
gonna start.
try the outstanding Brit recognition task force?
You most certainly can. That's Shannon.
Yeah.
I could also assist on the Brit recognition task force. This is Mark.
Thanks, Mark. Okay. Awesome. All right. So we still have, I don't know if anybody signed up. No one has signed up for the leadership series. And honestly, I think this might be a very, very, I'm not saying it'll be easy, but I think like Jen has some ideas already. There's already like sort of a schedule that's coming along. This would just mean like putting PR out to students, deciding on like the topics that we want for like leadership series. So with Dan, I never get his name right, who we had over winter break, come talk to us. We got to kind of choose because he has different like sessions that he does, and we were able to like choose which one would be best for our like organization. So that's a really fun one if anyone's interested in this.
Chris will do that one.
Awesome. Thanks for telling me your name right off the bat.
Tassie will do that one with Chris.
Thanks, Tassie. Perfect. Tassie on here? Not sure why her name. Oh, it's Tassie. There we go. You know. All right, that one's covered. Thank you both. All right, so a couple left here. I'm gonna go through and see who we do not have. Guys, this is like one of the reasons why we took away officer reports for the meetings. It's just a little bit more of like a collaborative thing and getting these like certain things done that we're not able to like communicate with you or see you during the week. So this is really like helpful. So I appreciate you all who have volunteered so far. Let me see who else. All right, so we have, I'm seeing people haven't signed up. Juan, if you are here, Hunter, Kara, Kim.
Liv, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, actually not really a question. I was just under the impression that I had my own task force. Not really, but like when you like went through the video thing. So I can sign up for a task force, but in my mind I was like, oh, I saw myself, so I'm good.
Oh, I think you should be good because that is a priority right now. So why don't you stick with that? You're good. I forgot. That's on me.
No, you're good.
The videos is a big undertaking, and I understand that. So why don't you stick with that? And like as things come up and you finish that, or yeah, if you finish that, then we'll see. We'll go from there. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes. So if
I have a question. What exactly would the newsletter task force, like how often would something like that go out, like etc.?
Yeah, so I think the idea was to put something out weekly. It doesn't have to be anything like Pleiad level, but I think there was like sort of like a agreement that putting that out weekly would be really helpful for students to kind of understand. So I think what you would have is like a template. So if you guys created a template in this task force as to like what kind of things are included in it each week, and how it's set up and how it's sent out. And then that would be just kind of filling in and plugging in what's new each week, like stuff you've heard at meetings or guest speakers that we had is a big one. Like we brought in TRiO, we brought in Kara Allen from TRiO, and this is what she said, and here's what she had to say, and here's where you can find these resources. And I think like if you have like an outline, I think Mark put one in already, but that is up for like kind of editing. I think he like in rough outline. Yeah, he says right here. So then we would just be like plugging in the information that a lot of times we have in our minutes and putting that to like in a formal communication.
I can do that one then.
Okay.
Alex.
Thank you. I hear chat bubble. Okay. All right, so I'm just waiting on a couple of you. There's a couple spots to fill, and the rest we will save for the sake of time. So if I could hear from Kara what you're interested in, Juan, and okay,
explain, I guess, what the mental wellness training event. More on that one. Oh, wait. Never mind. Just kidding.
I can. Who? Yeah. Sorry, who said that?
That was Kara. Sorry.
Oh yeah, you want me to explain a little bit more?
Yeah.
Actually, can I actually ask Zahra to explain this one a little bit? I think this is more on her.
Yeah, so basically we had talked about this last year, but we wanted to bring in like this company that does mental health first aid training. So this task force would basically just like work on finding a good date that would work for a large amount of the campus, like finding partnerships on campus and then just setting that up for like as an event for students, like people across campus. And so the main work that goes into this is like setting up the event, and then the event is run on its own. There are like flyers and some more details that we have we can add on to this. So Juan said in the chat that he would want to be on this task force. The mental health.
Yeah, the task force. And that's Kara's again.
Okay, so Kara and Juan.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna scratch all of this because this is an unfinished thought that I had. Okay. Thank you too. Okay, I think that will wrap it up. I think, and then we'll revisit what still has like missing people. I think that maybe the leadership series and B4B at this point. For the sake of time, I think we're good on that. I don't see anybody else.
Yeah, we should be good for now. I think we covered all the general sectors. And then, so was that all? Did you have more to say about task forces, Olivia?
Just literally one recap, and then I'll stop talking for at least a little bit. One thing to remember with task forces, so we'll get this going. We'll get the to-dos up in Basecamp, which is what I just had pulled. Actually, I still have it pulled up. I'll stop presenting. And so that is gonna be like structured how I said initially. So you will have questions answered by the committee that is like ahead of the task force. So in some cases it's engagements, in some cases it's ASA, some cases it's appropriations. If you have questions, go to those chairs, vice chairs. And then if you have finalized plans, scheduling, things that like you have it in order, and anything like beyond your committee that's above the task force, ask me. I'm technically your project manager on this, so I'll be there for you. And like if you need help directing and you've kind of taken those steps to ask around, let me know. I'm also there for you, and then we'll get the ball rolling on these projects. Thank you guys for signing up. This is a new way, so I understand if it's confusing, but please reach out if you are you don't understand. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Olivia. So the next thing we have is budget approvals. So Chris, you want to take that?
Yeah, so we're just gonna rev right through these guys. So this is just a quick reminder that all of these budgets that we're going to talk about tonight, or that I'm going to talk about, I guess, have already been audited and approved by the Appropriations Committee before coming to General Senate. So we've already tore through these pretty heavily before they were approved.
Sam, Samantha, could you mute yourself?
Cool. Okay. So the first budget we have tonight is Delta Sigma Phi. They are requesting $758.91. I'm just going to run through them all real quick. The second is Alpha Kappa Alpha for $2,356.83. And then the last one is Panhell for $358. Does anyone have, I guess, specific questions or wants to know about any of the details of any of this stuff or any of these budgets, I guess? Okay, I'll take that as a negative. So I guess unless there is any opposition in the chat, I'll take these as approved. Is that how we're doing it, Zara? Okay, cool. Awesome. I think that's all then.
Perfect. Thanks, Chris. And then we have something about homecoming shirts from Mark.
Hello. So Alex proposed to me the idea of collaborating for a shared event between Student Senate and Environmental Club, where we would use the remaining leftover homecoming shirts to make tote bags. So I'm on board with the idea, but the shirts were purchased using Senate funds and are a Senate owned item. So it would have to go to a vote to approve to use the shirts for this event.
Mark, I'm so sorry. My audio cut out when you were in the beginning of it. I only heard the end when you said it was Senate funded. Are we talking about the shirts?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I was just on the back end of that conversation. Did you say that the bag idea with the environmental, making the no sew t-shirt bags?
I'll write a brief summary in
Okay,
chat.
cool beans.
So this is basically up to vote. So if there's any discussions or any comments, go ahead and mute yourself.
I do. Are we planning to use all of the shirts?
At the moment, I do not know as to how many people would show up to said event.
I
So
mean,
I would leave that as a hypothetical potentially.
Okay.
I personally think there's no downside to if it does use all the shirts. You know what I mean? What are they just gonna do? Waste a waste of
No,
space?
that's
The
what I'm
first thing
saying.
with environmentalism is using things that you can use more than once for different purposes.
I'm asking in the context that I want to use all of the shirts, and I just don't want to have this discussion again at another meeting to where we're going to have to vote on something again to use all of the shirts. So, is there a plan for if the shirts don't get used?
So, Skylar, I think we had actually talked about that a little bit before. We're just combining the two ideas that we originally had about donating the shirts and making the shirts into something new. So, I think if we didn't use all the shirts, say we used 100 shirts to make the bags, and we still had 50 left over, we would donate them to one of the local Goodwills in Albion, or closed pantries or anything like that. That's just one of the ideas, not Goodwill. Okay, got it. But I'm sorry, I used the word Goodwill, Salvation Army. I don't know what that place would be called, but a place like that. A thrift shop. That's what I meant, or something like that.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
I just had a clarification question. These all say 2020 on them, right?
No, yeah, maybe. Sorry, I actually designed them. I don't know the answer to that. I can go look in my closet. Hold on.
Not that it really makes a difference either way, but if they say 2020, then I mean we're not exactly going to be handing these out next year. Just,
They say 2020 on them.
yeah, then I think we gotta find these then.
All right, so if there's no more discussion, if people do have an opposition, say so in the chat. If not, we'll take that as approved. So we are voting on using the shirts for bags. Just to clarify.
Can I just ask a question really fast? Sorry.
Yeah.
So maybe could we change that motion to vote on I don't know, rewrite it, I guess, to vote so we don't have to vote again. To make them into bags, and then if there are any left over, we can donate them to a non-profit thrift store, not a Goodwill, like Tassi said, or we can research more into that, but donate it to the who needs it the most, basically.
I second your amendment, Kim.
And I have another point of clarification before we go forward with the vote. I'm inclined to vote yes with things the way they are, but over the course of when we do this, if we could get a number on exactly how many shirts we have in the office, I think that would be helpful too. I'm assuming it's a lot.
Hundreds.
Yeah. I think it's 150 or 175.
Oh, wow.
All right, so the motion that's on the table is what Kim said about using it for bags and also giving it away as a donation. So if there's any opposition to that, say so in the chat. If not, we'll take that as approved. All right, it looks like we're good to go with that, Mark. So the next item of business is pictures. Peach, do you have anything to talk about pictures?
I do. So I put out a survey, and the conclusion is basically we're all way too over involved in everything. So I would like to suggest that we wait a bit to do photos until there is less snow and also there is not recruitment happening, because the weekends seem to work pretty well for everyone's schedule, but obviously not this weekend. So also because we need to be outside. Yes, I did the wave. I'm reading the chat messages. Okay, anyways. Would also like to see that the snow is gone, because I think we'll get better photos if we're not all shivering. So I will keep you all updated. It'll happen hopefully before the second module, so we can all have nice photos to use for our LinkedIns, but I'll keep you updated.
Thanks, Peach. And just a quick note on using Basecamp for that. So the to-do that Peach put, there was a survey link, but it was assigned as like a description inside of the to-do list and not necessarily the to-do itself. And so if you were commenting your times and stuff, that it didn't show up in that place, but there was another place where there was an actual survey. So just for future reference, if you're using the to-do list, make sure to look at both the to-do itself and the whole list description.
And I am going to be, my voice cracked. I am going to be sending out a new survey for photo time. So don't worry about going back and doing the new survey. But once it is time, make sure you click the link and go to the Survey Monkey to put in the times that you're available. So just keep an eye open for that.
Perfect. So that wraps up our new business. And then we just have one last item for open discussion. So today is a bit of a longer meeting, but this is just getting the structure down. So appreciate you all hanging in there for that. So the last thing we have to talk about today is the COVID commitment, and Olivia is going to take the lead on that.
Okay, hey everyone. So if you've probably done this with one of your other student organizations, since we're all overly involved, as Peach says, so this is going to be the Senate contract, COVID accountability contract, and I am going to do my best to go quickly. It's very important that we understand this as a group, as senators, but just for the sake of time, I'm going to be doing this with Tasi. Kim said she's done it 4 times. That's crazy. Kim probably has a record. We should see how many the record is. But I'm going to be switching off with Tasi. Tasi and I served on the Student Accountability Task Force. We were able to kind of have input on this forum, which was very nice, and input on a lot of the things that are relating to COVID, and we still are. So we're going to go back and forth here, and I'm just going to start. And I would like everybody's attention as best as possible. I know it's late. So, all right. Thank you everyone for joining us today and paying attention to this accountability program. So this semester we are having a new system with students to reinforce the public health protocols and manage the spread of COVID on campus. So we've been meeting regularly with the Student Accountability Committee, like I just said. So this has informed the process and decision making for the semester. So that task force has been doing a really good job on that. We want to begin by offering framing, comments, and reminders. Just a reminder, so like we all signed and embraced the Albion community commitment, which we'll go over a little bit later, and acknowledge that COVID-19 is very much real and continues to persist, and that we cannot get complacent in this semester if we want to stay on campus and make it successful. I think we all understand that, and we've had that conversation between ourselves before, and I've heard it. So last semester we did have good compliance with a lot of the protocols on campus, but we need to remain vigilant, and it takes all of our contribution to make it possible. And so the administration wants us to know that they want to be a campus that trusts their students to make good decisions about their own health and safety, but that is definitely going to take effort on our part. So as you probably have figured out, they are not tracking anyone's location this semester. We've heard feedback that like students wanted to be trusted more to make good decisions. So we're willing to do that, but not without a system for accountability, which is why we are having this conversation today. So there have already been incidents of the spread of the COVID-19 variant, which poses additional risk to our campus and our nation, and COVID is not over. We know that we can do this in our school size. We are able to maintain like a campus bubble and keep one another safe, but we wouldn't be here we wouldn't be here if we weren't sure that we could do it. So that means like following consistent and regular protocols, and noticing when our peers are not. Okay, so alrighty. So if Tassie, do you want to do part 2?
Yep, so we're going to set some ground rules. Before we begin, let's set some ground rules. These are not easy conversations. COVID-19 has impacted all of us in one way or another. There are some people who don't believe COVID is real, and there are others who have lost parents, siblings, friends, and family to this virus. This conversation is not just about following the rules. It's about safety and protection for our community members. Let's set some ground rules together. Here are some suggestions, but please engage the group of identifying some of their own. Respect one another. Ouch, oops. Acknowledge when you hurt someone. Apologize if you offend someone. Pass the mic. If you always step up or take most of the space in the conversation, rethink that. Let others step in and take the lead. What's said here stays here. What's learned here leaves here. Be solution-oriented. These are tough decisions, and there are no perfect answers, but we need your help in moving from complaining to solutions. Are there any other things that you guys think that we should add to this list of ground rules? So for example, I did this with the softball team, and one thing that I added was creating an open environment. So this is a virus. So when people get this virus, it's important not to put a red flag on that person and like disregard that person and be mean to that person simply because they got this virus that over 500,000 people have now gotten. As long as that person is following the rules, we just care about the health and safety. And I think that that's one of the main things that this program is for, is to care about the health and safety of others. Is there anything else that we want to add? If not, Olivia, you can go ahead with part 3.
All right. So this is going to be a little bit more interactive, this part. So we are constructing our ideal community. So we're going to spend a few minutes to brainstorm. So if hopefully you all are at a desk or have paper in front of you, or you can pull it up on your laptop. But on one side of the paper, you are going to draw or write or describe your ideal Albion community this semester, what that looks like, dream a little, and what kind of activities are you doing? What would your learning spaces look like, and how are protocols being followed? And what would our environment look like? would we be together, working together and living together? Okay, so I'm gonna give 2 to 3 minutes for you just to brainstorm. Hopefully you have like a Google Doc pulled up on your own. Just brainstorm a little bit, and I'll start the timer and we'll come back and I'm gonna ask for like 3 volunteers to share. Okay, 1 minute left. Hope you're idealizing. Okay, so would anyone like to share what their ideal community living at Albion, on campus, learning at Albion looks like? Maybe you drew it, maybe you wrote it. Would anyone like to share?
I think for me, sorry.
Go ahead, Alex.
I was going to say, I think my ideal campus would be where we are like able to do things as a community, but like safely. So sort of like how during the fall time, like the tents were up and we could hold like events and stuff in there. I think being able to do that like this winter time and actually being like responsible in those spaces and making sure that all like protocol are actually like done would be very beneficial, so we don't have the chance of getting those spaces taken away from us.
Yeah, I was going to say pretty much the exact same thing as Alex, just being able to do more on campus, like more social events, but still like following protocol and stuff like that.
Awesome. If there's anybody else that want to share. Okay. So we'll keep going here. Okay. Tassie, did you want to do 4? I don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I can do 4.
Okay.
Okay. This summer, each student signed the Albion Community Commitment. Our student development team worked to create this as a way to engage our entire community to make a commitment to one another about our health and safety to make this year a good one. I am going to review the terms of that commitment, which are below. It says I can share my screen, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to read it. Albion College is an undergraduate liberal arts institution committed to academic excellence. We are learning centered and recognize that valuable learning takes place in and outside the classroom, on and off campus. We prepare students to translate critical thought into action. That is the Albion College mission statement. Okay. In the midst of the coronavirus pandemic, the value of a liberal arts education has never been clearer. The ability to think critically, be engaged, citizens, and regularly adapt to an ever-changing world are skills that Albion College instills in its students. In order to live up to our mission and continue to our educational pursuit, we must commit to work together to make this a safe, healthy community while learning can still take place. We must recognize that our actions impact others and that our ability to remain on campus during this pandemic relies on each and every member of our community to do their part. The Albion community commitment epitomes, sorry, I don't know that word, our commitment to each other, a social compact in which individuals agree to act in the best interest of the whole. Each member of the Albion College community, including faculty, staff, and students, will be required to review and agree the Britain Pledge before beginning the fall semester. Albion community commitment. As an Albion College Brit, I commit to take care of myself, to take care of others, to take care of Albion College, and to take care of the city of Albion. Take care of myself. I will monitor myself for symptoms of COVID-19 and seek medical care if I experience a fever of 104.4 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, dry cough, difficulty breathing, chills, repeated shaking with chills, muscle pain, headache, sore throat, or loss of taste or smell. I will create a plan ahead of time for how I will access health care if I get sick, where I will go, how I will get there. Take care of others. I will consider first and foremost how my actions impact others when considering my engagement on campus and in the community. I will maintain 6 feet of physical distance, social distancing whenever possible. I will wear a face covering mask as required on campus. I will complete a daily check-in and engage in regular testing based on COVID-19 health guidelines. If I feel ill or if I'm exposed to someone who has symptoms or tests positive for COVID-19, I will stay in my residence hall, residential students, or at home, employees and community students, except when seeking medical care. Taking care of Albion College. I will adhere to the Albion College public health protocols, which are designed to protect individuals and the community. I will participate in testing and contact tracing as required by the college in order to preserve the wellness of the community. I will self-isolate or move to quarantine space if directed to do so by the college. I will carefully observe signage on campus and follow any posted instructions. Take care of the city of Albion. Recognizing my responsibility to the community in which our college operates, I will respect the same guidelines and standards within the greater Albion community as I do on campus. I have read, understand, and agree to comply with the Britain Pledge and Albion College public health protocols. I take this pledge seriously, and I will do my part to protect the Albion College community. Now that we look back at this document from the summer, what would you like to see added to this commitment? What are we missing? What are some changes that came up in the fall that we can address this spring? Please volunteer and share your thoughts.
I would say just like a bit of a detail on taking care of your community. Like if you notice something that's not going the best way, like if you notice someone not wearing their mask or things like that, like encouraging them to follow the rules and like really be proactive in that way.
I'm so sorry, my pizza just got here. So something that I said about this that I think was important is just open communication. I think that the college didn't know how to communicate with us in the fall, and we truly didn't know how to communicate with the college without getting angry. And I just think that making the commitment to better communicate with one another and understand where the other is coming from. Because while we look at the situation from a student's perspective, the college is looking at it with an umbrella. So I think that part of this contract should be us being willing to work with one another.
One of the things that I missed that we should definitely go over is when we thought of the ideal Albion community, and this can tie right along with what we're talking about right now, is where did we fall short in the fall? Which I know Tassi said, like, the communication was one thing. Like, as far as like the cases that we had on campus and like the causes for those cases, and the violations of protocol, like where do we go wrong in the fall to like make that nice picture of what we want like less of a reality. And I think it's good to kind of like mull over and think about like the mistakes we made and things we can do better this time around in the spring. Does anybody want to add anything to that?
Two things. I don't know how we would really put it in, but I think we need to work on the respect aspect. Like if I ask you to put your mask on, like just put it back on, but also like not getting defensive, because I know it can be awkward in both sides of that situation. And then also like trying to address the stigma of people that get COVID and or are in close contact. Like they're not all just being stupid. And so like that stigma of like, oh, you got it, like you were clearly breaking the rules, is also something that I think kind of broke the trust in the fall.
Yeah, absolutely. I've heard quite a bit about that, and exactly what you said, Sheridan. And there's a lot of students that feel the same way. And I think as we write our contract, we can add that in as far as like the stigma around COVID.
Can I add to that? So I think that's also important because you made the mask comment. I think it's important to understand that there are people who medically cannot wear a mask, and that we shouldn't completely judge those people because there is a way with the college to get exempted from wearing a mask, and there are some people who go through that. So if you see somebody with like a mask in their hand and they're just being ignorant and not wearing it, that's one thing. But I also don't think that we should attack others because we do not always know other situations.
I think everyone though needs to make sure they are wearing their mask and the right way. Obviously medical conditions do exist, but majority of people that have been here, especially we all like know each other. And I guess there could be an underlying medical condition that we not know about, but don't take the thought of that there are medical conditions and abuse that power. I think that's like a very important thing to state.
Going off of that, I have severe asthma. I use my inhaler 5 to 6 times a day, and I wear my mask everywhere I go when I'm climbing up the Robinson steps. So unless you really do have something like that, I just think it's important that we are wearing our masks over our nose.
Okay, one thing I'm going to add to is that this contract that we are about to we're going to brainstorm just a little bit more and then we'll be done. This is going to be public to all student organizations and basically everybody that's involved in these efforts on campus. So this is like student senate statement about it, and like we are a student government organization. Like this is like I think we're doing a great job already. Like we're taking this seriously, but just remember like this is gonna be published to everybody. So we are technically liaisons already for student organizations. We obviously govern student organizations. So there's things that like just like to keep in mind, like this is we got to set a good example here. And I think we're already on track in that way. Okay. Thank you all for sharing those ideas. If there's anything more, you can speak up. But our success this semester is only as good as our commitment to each other. It is important to recognize that many layers of accountability that we need. Accountability on the individual level, so person to person, like, hey, put your mask on, pull it over your nose. Accountability to each other as a collective group, as a student senate, and accountability to the entire Albion community as a whole. It will take attention to each layer to be successful. So we are going to add to the community commitment as a group. So one last brainstorm, I'm going to ask you for the 1% that you have left in the tank here at 1040. And we will use that to hold ourselves accountable as a group. And these will be shared publicly with our entire community so they can see what type of commitment we've made as a group as Student Senate. So if there's anything else that you've brainstormed and thought about that we should add to our contract as a student senate. Once again, keeping in mind that we are leaders on campus. We're not just a student organization that's going out and competing or, performing. We are leaders by title. So if there's anything else that we should add to our contract, I'll be typing that up. And Tassi will be able to edit that too. And judging by what you guys have already said, I've been taking some notes. So is there anything else that we should add to this?
I just think that everyone needs to notice too that people are watching you. Since we are leaders at the school, even if people don't know you, they do recognize who you are. Not even that can be walking on campus. That can also be your social medias. Be careful what you do, and especially, I guess, not to out myself for anything, but everyone knows someone who has had COVID. COVID is not a joke. And if you say you don't know anybody that has had COVID, I have had COVID. So you know me. And I think something big is that, that other strand, it's here. It's in Calhoun County, right here, right now. Be smart. We don't want to go home. Seniors don't want to go home. I don't want to get COVID again because I don't want to die. I don't want to have to change my career path in life because I have bad lungs. I already didn't have great lungs, but COVID literally puts holes in your lungs. I've had COVID once. That's not good. That's not going to help me for my outdoor career. I don't want to get COVID again, and I don't want to get a worse version of COVID. So keep that in mind because you affect everyone on this campus. So be smart. Don't be an idiot. I want to stay here. Some people have nowhere else that they can go except for here. So don't try to have a good time for one night and then make it to where we all have to go and you don't get any better weekends than that one where you decided to go out and party and do something stupid. So that's my rant. Thank you.
So as a Senate, how can we commit to, as far as verbiage goes, how are we going to say that we commit to holding ourselves accountable to what Alex said, that a lot of us are feeling, hopefully all of us, ideas. Okay. All right, so I have some good stuff, and I will be kind of making that into a formal document, and Tassi will be able to add to that too, judging by what we've said so far. So thank you. Thank you all for participating today. We're very glad that you are here navigating this with us in this semester, and our safety is a part of all of us. We can do this together. We are going to check back with you weekly and understand how we are doing in terms of compliance as a group. So we will soon be reporting that on a public dashboard as a way to share our entire community how Student Senate is doing to follow protocols, so that our contract will be checked over. And then all of our good ideas and agreements that we shared today will be posted publicly, like I said, and shared with Dean Wright, Matt Aaron, Director of Athletics and COVID-19 accountability or coordinator, and Kelly Finn, Chief of Staff. So that I will share that document with you all as well, first and foremost, and I'll get that looking formal. And then that'll be shared with, there's a list of 3 that needs to be shared with, and so that'll be on a public platform for pretty much everyone to see. So that is a bit of vulnerability, but that means we're holding ourselves to that standard, and what we just said in meeting today. So expect that from your fellow senators and hold them accountable. So thank you all for participating in this. I know it's late. You've done great, and that's all I have. Thanks, Tassi.
Olivia and Tassi, thank you for your leadership. Just so you all know, there's a lot of student groups and athletic teams that have already started submitting what they're going to commit to do. And so I appreciate Student Senate and the time spent for you all to talk through this, because it is important, and you all are demonstrating a level of leadership and your commitment to model the way for the student body. So thank you for your your time spent on this.
Yes, just echoing Dean Wright. Thank you all for sticking through with all this. If there's anything else for open discussion, you can say that now. If not, we can hear a motion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn meeting.
Second.
All right, this meeting is adjourned at 10:46 p.m. Thank you
Have a
all.
nice day, guys.
Actually, Sarha, if you're still around, do you think I could talk to you for 30 seconds?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. I didn't realize the meeting would run this late, so
Wait, hold on 1 second. Let's stop recording.